So now, for our final speaker of the day, I am pumped up. I'd love to and like to welcome our USC Director of Athletics, Mike Bohn. So Mike was appointed Director of Athletics last November. He holds the Charles Griffin Cale Director of Athletics chair. Mike has more than 35 years of experience in collegiate athletics administration, and over the course of his career, he has demonstrated integrity and strength in such critical areas as compliance, recruiting, and athletic excellence. Here at USC, Mike provides strategic and administrative oversight over the USC Athletics Department, including the university's 21 women's and men's varsity teams. As a reminder, if you have questions, and I'm sure you do, please begin submitting them through the Zoom Q&A section. So, here we go, drum roll. Mike, thank you for joining us today. Welcome.
Thank you so much, John. It's a pleasure to be with you, and thank you for that wonderful introduction. And it's good to see you again, John. And I can see if you're fired up, that's good, because that's exactly what we need right now. And I just want to thank you for that kind introduction, and also thank Patrick Auerbach for the incredible job of putting this event together. I know you've heard from the president, you've heard from so many different leaders today, and had a long day. But let's talk a little bit about the Trojan Athletic Program, and let's talk about, as this Trojan family deals with this crazy time. I don't even want to say unprecedented time, because I think that's an understatement. It's been a seismic shift for all of us to deal with this, and I think that in the end, really, it's about the Trojan family. And you start thinking about family, you start thinking of when you look at someone else and you look across Zooms or whatever, trying to envision them as family and what that means, and trying to be able to put that together. But during this time, I'm really couldn't be prouder to be your athletic director, and the partners that exist on this call and across campus represent that family. And I think that's why it's so important for us to get together, and why it's so challenging for us when we can't get together around football games, intercollegiate athletic events, alumni events. That's where we get our passion and our energy and our connection to each other. And I think that's what makes it so hard. I mean, I was on the marching band Zoom yesterday, and it was emotional. It was, because those young men and women represent the heartbeat of the family and of the Trojan athletic enterprise as much as anybody. And they miss being able to be the ones to play Conquest and Fight On and Tusk and all those incredible, passionate songs that we love, that really represent our family. And when they're hurting and they're struggling, it's just amazing. And if y'all haven't been serenaded by Zoom, by a bunch of people playing their instruments in their home simultaneously, it's amazing. And it's amazing because you really get to see the faces of the band members and what they represent. So I just think that that's truly a representation of that. We truly are stronger when we endure together. And that's exactly what we're doing during this challenging time. And I believe that's what we're really working hard in athletics to do is, despite not being able to compete, our student athletes have been nothing more than inspiring. Now they're hurting. Let me be clear. They're hurting, and they're trying to deal with so much uncertainty, but their positivity, their poise and perseverance represent the fight on spirit and exemplify what it truly means to be a Trojan. They do. And they have embraced this and recognize how tough it is for them when they turn on ESPN and we're watching other programs play. And I think that's probably the biggest challenge for all of us, is that the COVID-19 experience from New York to Los Angeles is different for everybody. It just is. And we don't like the fact that maybe in Iowa, they're not having any challenges and we're having the significant challenges here in Los Angeles. But one of the biggest challenges for us has been the confluence of so many different people. I say confluence is probably more like a collision of federal government, state government, local government, NCAA, all those different entities trying, the Pac-12 conference, everybody trying to get it in alignment. And I was reminded the other day by our wonderful chief of staff, I think it's kind of like, so you're all old enough to remember a tire, right? Swinging up maybe on a swing. So think of each one of those 5 tires swinging simultaneously in their own way and trying to get them, when I say simultaneously, they're all swinging, trying to get them aligned to the point where you can thread a football right through those 5 tires when they're all aligned. Now, you may be able to get it through there once, but then you don't have the ability to really line up anymore. And I think that represents what our challenge is really about. But I really want to highlight a couple things before we get to questions. It really, number one, is our student athlete welfare support, what we've been able to do for our student athletes. And our vision, to be real clear for everybody on this call, and you've been very clear in sharing your vision with me, is that we want to be the most student athlete centered athletics program in the country. So what does that mean? That means that every decision we make will have the student athletes and student athlete well-being at the center of it. And then we have the ability to measure every aspect of mental health to academic support to training to doctors to coaches to facilities, you name it. We want to be the best at it. And I think that's very simple and very succinct. And during the COVID-19 shutdown, we regularly provided prepared meals, nutritional supplements, training packages to our student athletes. We sent them to their homes and tried to help make sure that we knew we were doing everything we could with them. And we had weekly wellness checks that our training staff put together with them. We had virtual workout programs developed by our strength and conditioning staff. And it's been inspiring to watch the various departments within the athletic department work together to continue to provide world-class support to our student athletes, despite not being able to be together on campus. And that's a Herculean task. And we've had so many people help us with that, and they're committed to it. And I think that says a lot. And as far as football program enhancements, we were able to retain the entire offensive coaching staff. You all know about our incredible offensive coordinator, Graham Harrell, and what he represents. And when you can fend off Texas and you can fend off the Philadelphia Eagles, I think that says a lot about USC. And members of the USC family were critical in pulling that together. And we overhauled the defensive coaching staff, which was accomplished by securing experienced and proven coaches' commodities, including Dante Williams, who's currently ranked as the #1 recruiter in the Pac-12 conference that we were able to secure from Oregon. Has roots here in LA. What an incredible addition he's been. And on top of Todd Orlando, and I could go through all of them, but and they are aligned and committed and as competitive as a group as I've seen around the football program. So again, I think that this group of coaches and student athletes is a force to be reckoned with. And we recognize that, our recruiting has to improve, and being able to pick up additional infrastructure there associated with our recruiting and the way we recruit and the social media videos, all those things that are important, we've caught up. And in some ways, we are more innovative than anywhere else in the country. And you're going to hear more about that in the months ahead that we're very, very excited about. But I'm thrilled that we were able to hire Brad Keller as our new women's volleyball coach, Jeremy Kipp coming back as our swim coach. And he had an incredible visit last night with former athletes. And that's awesome. That's where he gets his energy. That's where he gets his passion. That's where he gets his confidence, is from leaders like you who share that and understand the power of that sense of family and that sense of spirit that comes from being a Trojan. So thank you for doing that role. And then obviously our most recent hire is JT Higgins, who comes to us from Texas A&M. He's already in the College Golf Hall of Fame. He's won a national championship. And guess what? He wants to come here and win another one. And that's why we wanted to attract him and why we were excited about having him join our family. And you will love all 3 of those coaches that go in with the complements of coaches that we're excited about. So again, it's about supporting our student athletes during this time more than ever. You just had a wonderful panel there talking about the importance of diversity and the different things that we're doing. But we now have 2 student athletes from every single one of our 21 teams represented in the Trojan Athletics Senate. We haven't had that type of structure in many, many, many years here at USC. That sounds like a silly thing, but that is critical to have every team represented and being a part of that. And our Trojan Athletics Senate is excited, and I'm thrilled to see their leadership come together. But again, we've had some wonderful dialogue and healthy dialogue with our newly formed United Black Student Athlete Association, and they've done a wonderful job in pairing with the USC Athletic Black Lives Matter Action Team to collaborate on the development of sustainable and transformative actions and initiatives in support of our Black student athletes, coaches, and staff. So again, I'm extremely proud to be your athletic director and to being able to partner with so many different people that are making a difference. And I just want you to know that we are blessed and cherish your engagement each and every day. And now more than ever, we need you to be really engaged in knowing that there's going to be a time when that band hits the field again and at these different competitions, and we're going to be able to be around each other and build upon this. And I know you heard from President Folt earlier today, but you know what? In the end, right now, it's about taking time to ensure that the safety of our student athletes and staff is first and foremost in our minds. Second, that we continue to make investments in the enterprise of intercollegiate athletics and the institution. But third, we're going to build through this process. We're building, and we're not going through a slash and burn operation. We're doing the exact opposite. And you're seeing it with some of the initiatives I'm talking about. I could go on and on about it, but my hat's off to President Folt and her senior leadership team who are standing with us and building during this time. And I think that should give you a sense of pride. Now, do we have everything figured out and everything ready to go? No, but your family is building, and we're proud of where we're going, and we're thrilled to have you on our team. And I just couldn't be more excited about our future, recognizing that we have some serious challenges to address here as we battle with this COVID and all the other issues going on across our country and in the political arena that affects us. But again, I'm proud to be a Trojan, be your AD, and I'm here to help you in any way we can. And I can't wait for the day where we can get back together and brainstorm and think and partner and really put together meaningful work.
Mike, thank you. I mean, you always come with such a burst of energy. We knew we had a slam dunk and a home run and a touchdown by having you being the closer for today's Alumni Leadership Conference. And questions are rolling in, and we'd like to start. And I'm going to collapse a whole bunch of them into one simple yet loaded question to start us off in the Q&A. And that question is, when do you see us coming back and taking the gridiron? You know, you mentioned social media and the internet, and there's all kinds of innuendos and rumors, and the great news about rapid testing, the questions about the federal government getting a little too involved with the Big Ten. So talk to us about how that may or may not impact the potential start of football season.
Well, Patrick, that's the million-dollar question. I wish I had $1 million answer. The bottom line is you have 4 institutions in the Pac-12 conference right now that can't even have your entire football team work out. Cal doesn't have any student athletes on their campus right now. And so obviously we're partnering closely with UCLA to work hard with the LA County officials so that we can begin to hopefully have our full team working out. And I went to the men's basketball practice yesterday, and they're on the outdoor tennis courts outside right field, outside of Dado Field, practicing and trying to do the best thing that they can. So I anticipate this. We were able, with the leadership of our presidents and chancellors, and this group needs to know that Dr. Carol Folt is a huge leader in that group and an incredible partner with me. And she is as knowledgeable about intercollegiate athletics as any president I've ever been around in 35 years. And that commitment to us inspires us, and it gives us great hope. So with that, we've been able to secure a testing partnership with a group called Quidel out of San Diego. Those machines will arrive in late September. They allow us to test our athletes who will compete in the fall sports every single day and get the results in 15 minutes. And so obviously that gives us the ability to put all that in, and in a couple of hours, we'd have all of our student athletes tested. So that'll help us on game day. So the question is, how does that fit in to approval from the county, approval from the state, and then continue to knock down those dominoes so that we can be able to to play. So I think in a perfect world, it'd be great by sometime in December, we have the ability to compete, play X number of games. I think that's yet to be determined. And then hopefully have a bowl schedule. And obviously our goal is to play in the Rose Bowl. And who knows, maybe we could partner with the Big Ten Conference and have a traditional Rose Bowl lineup and be able to put that together. So I just don't have the details yet to be able to share and unwrap all of that for you at this time, but we're optimistic. But again, we've got to continue to have Los Angeles lower the number of cases on a daily basis. And that's a big challenge. And that's where all of us really fit in to try and make that happen. So I'm optimistic, and I'm optimistic that we'll be able to start basketball when we have the ability to get cleared and get practice. I mean, I salute our basketball teams for being willing to go out on a tennis court and try and get some shots up and work together. I mean, Andy has 8 new players on his team, and our women's team has new players as well, and they're just trying to get everybody in town so that they can practice. So it'll come together. I have to have faith that will be the case, but we still have work to do.
Thank you, Mike. Yeah, obviously, there's a lot of partners that go into working with athletics to make sure that it's safe to do so. And we certainly I know that all our alumni have your back. And just when you hear something on the radio or you see an internet report that says, oh, why can't we start up? It's obviously much more complex than people know. So your insights there are greatly appreciated. Our next question comes from Yolanda Davis-Quarry, who's big in the whole track and field space. And her daughter used to work in, I believe still works in athletics. And she has a really great question regarding seniors who were on athletic scholarships in sports that got canceled this past spring and sports that are impacted right now in the fall. Will they be asked to return to compete again? Will their scholarships be extended, or what happens?
Well, thank you for an incredible question. That's awesome, because that right there is an example of where President Fultz, influence in the Pac-12 conference, was able to provide scholarships and a year of eligibility. For anybody that lost that eligibility in that spring semester that we just lost, they have the ability to come back under the same scholarship commitments that they had when they were here, and the ability to compete with another year of eligibility. So that's exciting for us. Those young people deserve that opportunity, and we're thrilled that USC was a leader in doing that. And I salute President Fultz for being the champion that ultimately influenced the nation on that. So that was really, really good news for us.
News that just came out about the University of Utah and their furloughs of their athletic department. And in line with that, the president of our USC alumni community in London, he's actually online with us right now, and it's 11:30 at night there. So thank you, Simon Radford, for the question. Simon asks, what has this all done to our budget, and how will it affect the student-athlete experience in the long run?
Well, Simon, thank you for your commitment to be there from London. That's great. 11:30, you're fired up. I'm sure when you're finished, you're going to put on the fight song and wake up that city and get them going over there a little bit. But, I think that this, has it put a tremendous challenge on us and the entire institution? Absolutely. But again, our senior leadership team has committed, as I said, that we're not going to slash and burn or lose our viability or the momentum during this time. We're committed to building and enhancing our student-athlete experience, and we recognize that currently this is really a one-year major challenge that we're dealing with, and we're going to hustle and do everything we can to ensure that we can provide our student-athletes with all the things that they need to do. For example, we're thrilled that our track and field college center is under construction. It is going to be phenomenal. What an incredible statement for that to support our national championship track and field program to move into. And we just finished up at renovations on Utenzu swimming and diving facility, which is terrific. So those are on the capital side. We're working hard on McAllister Field and a commitment to women's lacrosse and women's soccer. The Coliseum obviously is the world's best facility. Otherwise, the Olympics wouldn't be there coming up in 2028. So we're excited about all those pieces. And now it's about continuing to have, all the support staff around our student athletes. And that's why Denise Kwok and our academic advising people, Robin Schofield associated with our mental health, Russ Romano and training, adding additional trainers there. We're building and we're doing everything we can so those student athletes know that they have every single thing that they need, and why it would be important for them to join us if you're a recruit out there, to see that USC is on the forefront of ensuring that the student athletes experience, again, is the most student athlete centered program in the nation. And that's what we're focused on.
Walking through campus today for the first time in 26 weeks, I walked by the construction of the College Center. So even though there's I did see a couple of student athletes heading to practice, properly socially distancing and wearing their masks. But to walk by the construction sites over by the whole athletic complex gives a lot of hope. And I know most of our alums right now can't get onto campus, but they should have a lot of faith that things are going in the right direction. Our next question comes to us from Dwayne McMullen from the USC School of Architecture, an architecture alum, also on our Alumni Association Board of Governors, who asks a question about whether graduation rates and scholarships should be tied together in football and basketball. So his question is, athletic scholarships, should they be tied to a graduation rate for the sports, particularly football and basketball? Like the more you graduate, the more scholarships you can issue and vice versa. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, that's a very interesting question. The good news is that our academic performance rate has never been higher in the history of the school, which is phenomenal. And that's a tribute to every single person that works at USC. Faculty, our tutors, our advisors, our coaches that are recruiting talented young men and women to be able to come in here and perform that. But ultimately they are, because there's penalties if you don't have the appropriate APR score right now. There's penalties associated with that. So we really don't have the ability to get more, because you obviously want to have a level playing field associated with the number of scholarships that are offered. But there are penalties when you don't perform. And I think that's why we're excited about our record performance. Our football team, for example, had the highest grade point average this last semester than they ever have had in the history of USC football. So obviously the focus is on ensuring that our athletes have the ability to be incredible alums like everybody on this call today. They can think back of when you graduated and you came out with a degree from USC and what it meant to you and what it gave you as far as an incredibly bright future and how we leverage that. And I think that's why we're going to continue to make more investments into our student athlete career development. We're already implementing aspects of that we're excited about. And we're going to continue to find ways to ensure that our student athletes are getting a degree and have the ability to leverage that into a great career, a long career after they finish playing their sport or in the Olympics or whatever they're doing. And so I think that's imperative for us to ensure that that's exactly where the focus is. So I hope those numbers give you a sense of representation of our commitment academically.
Excellent. And our final question has to do with something you mentioned earlier about there being 2 student athletes from each team who are represented on the Student Athlete Senate. What is exactly the role of that Student Athlete Senate in the athletic department?
Well, actually, the Senate has a strong voice. They're the conduit, Patrick, and everyone on this call, to me, to our coaches. They're the ones that provide feedback and thinking, okay, how are we doing? Food, anything on the experience associated with what they're doing, travel, academic pressures, anything that's going on in a student athlete's life. We want to be well connected and in touch with what they're doing. And understanding exactly the challenges that they have. And so in today's world of all the different complexities and challenges that they're under, we want to be in touch with them and we want to be close to them. So I am personally going to oversee that group myself, along with Denise Kwok and Sam Adams, who is our new Deputy Chief of Staff, to help pull that together, and some others in the athletic department, to ensure that we are tightly knit to our student athletes, so they know without question that we're here to ensure they're successful. And so having 2 senators from each team gives us a broad-based perspective of all the different challenges that they're doing. And we're finding some wonderful opportunities associated with how they interact, how they eat, how they socialize, how they get inspired by all the different great Trojans that can help them. And so it really is a foundation for them then to go back to their teams and share all the different things that they learn, so they know exactly what it really like it is like to be a part of the Trojan family, and understand how powerful our alumni base is, and this networking and career planning and all the different aspects that they can compete and know that they have every single aspect of their lives and their experience covered in a way that they can take full advantage of it.
Well, Mike, thank you to you and to your outstanding leadership team with Brandon and Sam and Craig and Daniel and Denise and everybody there over in Heritage Hall and all the other athletic facilities for all the great work you guys do in really muscling through this pandemic and fighting on. So on behalf of the more than 300 alumni leaders around the world who are dialed in right now and hearing you and your great enthusiasm, and our 437,712 alumni around the world, we say thank you again. We can't wait to see you and the entire Trojan student-athlete athletic family all together very soon, and fight on.